Daf Yomi, Tractate Bava, Batra, page 118b. Top of the page. Amar le, Anan mizar di Yosef de lo shalta be, ein abisha. Dichtiv ben poret Yosef ben porat ali ayin. Yom Rabbi Bahu al tikre ali ayin, ela ali ayin. Joseph's descendants said to him, "We are of the descendants of Joseph, upon whom the evil eye had no dominion, as it is written, Joseph is a fruitful vine by a fountain, Ali Ayin." Genesis 49:22. Rabbi Bahu states a homiletic interpretation. Do not read it as Ali Ayin, rather as Ole Ayin. Oh, that's right. Rather as Ole Ayin, above the eye. He transcended the influence of the evil eye. Joseph's descendants were saying that they also do not need to be wary. Rabbi Yossi, Rabbi Chanina Amar, Mehacham, V'yidgu l'rov b'kerev ha'aretz, Ma dagim shebemayim, Ba'im echas malem ve'ein, Ha'ayin sholetes bahem. Avdaro shel Yosef ein ha'ayin sholetes bahem. Rabbi Yossi, the son of Rabbi Chanina, said that a proof for the notion that the evil eye holds no sway over Joseph and his descendants is from here, Jacob's blessing of Joseph's sons, Ephraim and Manasseh. The angel who has redeemed me from all evil, bless the lads, and let my name be named in them, and the name of my fathers Abraham and Isaac, and let them grow into a multitude in the midst of the earth. Genesis 48:16. The Yidgu is related etymologically to the word for fish. Just as with regard to the fish in the sea, water covers them, and the evil eye has no dominion over them, so too the seed of Joseph, the evil eye, has no dominion over them. Miraglim Yehoshua v'Kalev natlu chalkam. Menahani mili Amar Ula Amar Krav Yehoshua ben Nun v'Kalev ben Yefune Hayu Minat Nashimahem. Ma Hayu. Oh, it says Chayu with the ches. Ile Machayu Mamash B'Hakativ Kroachminam V'lo Notar Mehem Ish Ki Im Kalev ben Yefune v'Yehoshua ben Nun Elamai Chayu Shechayu B'Chelkam. The Gemara analyzes the next section of the Braita, which states, with regard to the 12 spies sent to survey Eretz Yisrael prior to the Jewish people's entry into the land, Joshua and Caleb took all of the spies' portions of the land. The Gemara asks, from where is this matter derived? Ula said it is, as the verse states, but Joshua, son of Nun, and Caleb, son of Yefune, lived of those men that went to spy out the land. Numbers 14:38. What does the term lived mean? If we say it means literally that they lived, but there's another verse that states, and there was not left a man of them, save Caleb, son of Yefune, and Joshua, son of Nun. Numbers 26:65. So why would the Torah state it twice? Rather, what does the term lived mean? That Joshua and Caleb lived in the other spies' portion of the land. Mitloninin v'dat Korach lo haya lachem chen ba'aretz. Tanya. Meraglim mitloninin v'dat Korach Yehoshua v'Kalev natlu chalkam. Lo kashya mar makish mitloninin lemeraglim mar lo makish mitloninin lemeraglim. The Braita teaches that the protesters and the assembly of Korach did not possess a portion of Eretz Yisrael. The Gemara asks, but isn't it taught otherwise in the Batra with regard to the spies, the protesters, and the assembly of Korach? Joshua and Caleb took their portions of the land. Apparently, the protesters and the assembly of Korach were assigned portions in Eretz Yisrael, which were given to Joshua and Caleb. The Gemara answers it is not difficult. One sage, the Tana of the Batra quoted earlier, juxtaposes the protesters to the spies, teaching that just as the spies were assigned a portion of Eretz Yisrael, so were the protesters. And one sage, the Tana of the Batra quoted here, does not juxtapose the protesters to the spies. Although the spies were assigned a portion, the protesters were not. Tanya Avinu Meis Bamidbar Zed Salavchad Hu Lo Haya Betocha Eda Ze Adat Meraglim Ano Adim Al Hashem Elamit Lonanim Badat Korach Mashma'o. The Gemara quotes a related Braita as it is taught in a Braita that the verse quotes the daughters of Tzlofchad. Our father died in the wilderness, and he was not among the assembly of them that gathered themselves together against the Lord in the assembly of Korach, but he died in his own sin, and he has no sons. Numbers 27, verse 3. And the daughters of Tzlofchad therefore claim that they are entitled to this portion. Our father died in the wilderness. This is referring to Tzlofchad, and he was not among the assembly. This is referring to the assembly of spies that gathered themselves together against the Lord. These are the protesters in the assembly of Korach. This is in accordance with its straightforward meaning. It is clear from this verse that those in these categories were not entitled to a portion in Eretz Yisrael. Ma makish mislenim l'raglim Omar Mar makish mislenim l'raglim Omar lo makish mislenim l'raglim. The Gemara concludes one sage juxtaposes the protesters to the spies so that Joshua and Caleb inherited the portions of both, and one sage does not juxtapose the protesters to the spies. The Amar layer of Papa Labaya Laman Demakish Muslim Raglim Ikful Yehoshua Vikalef Yitru Lakula Eretz Yisrael Amar Lay Itlonanim Shibadat Koach Kaminan. The Gemara presents Rav Papa's fourth question. And Rav Papa said to Abaya, and according to the one who juxtaposes the protesters to the spies, is it reasonable that Joshua and Caleb contested the spies and inherited all of Eretz Yisrael? Many of the Jewish people protested in the wilderness at one point or another, and it cannot be that Joshua and Caleb received all of their portions by virtue of not participating in the sin of the spies. Abaya said to him, we are referring to the protesters who were among the assembly of Korach. This term is not referring to all those who protested, but rather the 250 individuals who protested along with Korach, and it is their portions of land that Joshua and Caleb received. The Omer later of Papa led by Bishlam Laman Dabar Liotse Mitzrayim Nischalka Ahoritz Hainu Ketivi Polcha Valimanashe Asara Shita de Shita Bate Avos Verba Didu Asara. The Gemara returns to the bride and presents the fifth question. And Rav Papa said to Abaya, granted according to the one who says that Eretz Yisrael was divided among those left Egypt, this is as it is written with regard to the inheritance of the tribe of Menashe, and 10 parts fell to Menashe, beside the land of Gilead and Bashan, which is beyond the Jordan, because the daughters of Menashe had an inheritance among his sons. Joshua 17, 5 and 6. 6 were the portions of the 6 fathers' houses of Menashe listed in a previous verse, Joshua 17, 2. And 4 parts of the daughters of Tzlofchad, it is 10 parts. Elam leman de amar leba'e haaretz tamniya temanyahu tehavu shita de shita bateavot utredidu ha tamanya. But according to the one who says that Eretz Yisrael is divided among those who entered Eretz Yisrael, there were 8 parts as follows. 6 were the portions of the 6 fathers' houses, and two of theirs which they received from the estate of their grandfather Chefer, of whom Zelophehad was the firstborn, that is 8. Zelophehad himself, by contrast, was not entitled to a portion, as he did not enter Eretz Yisrael. Uletamech uleman da'amar liyotzi Mitzrayim nischal ka'oretz tishahavu elamai isle lachlemei mar chadasa de'aba havu lahu achanami trayachi de'aba have lahu. The Gemara objects that according to your reasoning, but even according to the one who says that Eretz Yisrael is divided among those who left Egypt, there are only 9 parts, as the Mishnah 116b states that Zelophehad's daughters took 3 parts. Rather, what have you to say? How can the Mishnah be reconciled with the verse? One may say that according to the opinion that Eretz Yisrael was divided among those who left Egypt, they had one unmentioned paternal uncle who died without children, and Zelophehad's estate received a share of his portion. So too, according to the opinion that Eretz Yisrael was divided among those who entered Eretz Yisrael, it could be said that they had 2 unmentioned paternal uncles, so that they received 2 additional portions of land. V'tanya nason titei lahem zo nachlas avihen b'soch achei avihen zo nachlas avi avihen v'vartas nachlas avihen lahen zechelek b'chora. The fact that they received a portion from an uncle may be derived from a verse, as it is taught in Batra that the verse states, "You shall give them a possession of an inheritance." Numbers 27 verse 7. This is referring to the inheritance of their father. The verse continues, "Among their father's brothers." This is referring to the inheritance of their father's father. The verse continues, "And you shall pass the inheritance of their father to them." This is referring to the portion of the firstborn to which Zelophehad was entitled. Rabbi Eliezer ben Yaakov Omer, Av chelek achi avihen natlu shinamar naton titain l'man damar trei achei da'aba have lahu v'ahu may achuzas nachla nafka me'achuzas nachla nafka. The Batra continues, Rabbi Eliezer ben Yaakov says they also took a portion of their father's brother, as it is stated, "You shall give them." The double expression, naton titen, the double expression indicates that they received an additional portion. The Gemara notes, and according to the one who says that they had 2 paternal uncles, that additional portion is derived from the phrase, "You shall give them a possession of inheritance," which would be superfluous were it not to indicate an additional portion. Amar le Rav Papa Labaya Kramai Ka Chashiv I Tifalim Ka Chashiv Tuahavo I Batiavos Ka Chashiv Shitahavo. The Gemara presents the 6th question, and Rav Papa said to Abaya, in the verse quoted above, what portions is it counting? If the verse is counting children, meaning the portions of those who inherited from their antecedents, as with the daughters of Zelophehad, there were many such portions, and the verse did not enumerate all portions inherited by members of the tribe. And if the verse is counting fathers' houses, there are only 6, as Chefer is included among the 6 enumerated in Joshua 17 verse 2. Why then does the verse count the portions of the daughters of Zelophehad separately?